Good evening, America, and welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi coming to you from just outside Chicago on this historic day, 39 of President Trump's reclaiming of the White House. And let me tell you, folks, the stories we've got for you tonight, absolutely explosive. Before we dive in, I want to remind everyone that you are watching the most interactive news show in America. We're streaming live right now to millions on YouTube worldwide, as well as on Rumble and X. If you haven't followed us on those platforms yet, what are you waiting for? The censors can shut us down at any moment, and you need to know where to find us. Now, do me a favor. Grab your phone and text the stream to 5 friends. That's how we bypass the algorithm and keep this information spreading. Yes, the deep state hates when you share our content, so let's make them really angry tonight, shall we? I see the chat's already on fire, and we're going to be reading your super chats and your Rumble rants between segments and featuring them on screen for the world to see. Your comments and questions drive this show, so keep them coming. And remember, super chats get priority treatment, and maybe you'll get a Trump dance tonight. Juan, I don't know what you're doing tonight, but hey. Tonight, we're tackling 4 seismic stories the mainstream media either won't touch or will completely distort. First up, the most explosive Oval Office confrontation in recent memory. President Trump and Zelenskyy went head-to-head today, and it ended up with the Ukrainian president being shown the door. We've got exclusive details about what happened behind closed doors that will shock you. Then, we're exposing the deep state obstruction in the Epstein case. AG Pam Bondi has uncovered a massive cover-up with FBI officials deliberately hiding crucial documents. We'll reveal who's pulling the strings and what they're desperately trying to conceal. And third up, Elon Musk and the DOGE boys are tearing down the corrupt government apparatus piece by piece. Their latest revelations about Ukraine funding and USAID corruption will make your blood boil when you hear where your tax dollars are really going. And finally, the border crisis is getting the Trump treatment. ICE is conducting massive raids nationwide, while 29 cartel bosses are extradited to face American justice. The days of open borders are over. Now, these stories are just the tip of the iceberg, and we need your support to keep drilling down to the truth. The deep state doesn't want this information getting out, which is why your donations are so crucial. If you believe in our mission, please consider supporting us through the links in the description. Every dollar helps us fight the information war. We've also launched our YouTube channel memberships with exclusive perks at different levels. Support the channel and receive special acknowledgement in the chat room, plus unlock exclusive access to the Next News team. And look at that. Juan Ruiz already dropping 20 Next News memberships. Some special gifts coming from Juan tonight. 20 of you already receiving it. I think there's even more. I can't even believe what's happening. You guys are always on fire tonight. I love you guys. And don't forget to check out our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Have you checked it out yet? Have you looked at some of our swag? Have you purchased some yet? Are you showing off your favorite news source? Well, you need to, because your Next News swag tells the world that you stand for truth. Remember, we'll be reading your super chats between segments because you get priority. The more you engage, the better this show becomes. America's at a crossroads. The information we bring you tonight could be the difference between freedom and tyranny. So buckle up, patriots. The Raw Feed starts now. And let's welcome you to the show. We got Julia, Manuel, Effin, Karen, Northeast Alabama News. Gonna get a hat soon. Right on. We got Karen and Tracy and Michael and Aries Viction and Sean Gunk and Juan Vigil. President Trump handled Zelenskyy like a boss, baby. Benny Truth, Craig, Sammy B.A. What's up, everybody? Hey, boss, Gary, we the people want the Trump dance. Man, you guys just like seeing me dance. You think I'm just some kind of like a stripper. You just throw me money and I dance around. Every single night you guys do this to me. We got Lori, we got Truthy Ruthie, we got Billy Gunner, Overeducated Nathan Hal, 10 Dude, Running Bear, Tracy, Rob, Reverend Hearts, and Craig, and who else? Jeff, Clutch, Rob, Reverend, Craig Gomez, John, May, Parmis Dax. What's up? We got Larry and Chris B and Lorraine and T Sin, Overeducated, Plain Jane, On Rice, Simon. We got, everybody's here. What's up? Are you guys ready for the show tonight? My goodness, I don't even know where to begin. Just tracking the entire news day has been exciting. I think I'm like on an adrenaline high that I don't even know how to handle. And then I'm going to D.C. on Sunday to bring you all the coverage from the White House next week. So buckle up, folks. We have an exceptional week ahead of us, especially after what just happened. Michael's already in his panties in a wad. Get to the news already, he says. Yeah. All right. Let's go. All right, Michael, you win. Ladies and gentlemen, what we witnessed today in the Oval Office wasn't just a diplomatic meeting. It was a seismic shift of American foreign policy. President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelenskyy went head-to-head on what quickly devolved into an explosive confrontation, ending with Zelenskyy being kicked out of the White House. The days of blank checks to Ukraine are officially over. And Trump didn't mince words, telling Zelenskyy directly, "You don't have the cards. Your country's in big trouble. You're not winning." When Zelenskyy tried talking over Vice President Vance, Trump shut him down. "Wait a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking." This is what real leadership looks like, folks, and we are going to break it all down. We've got the reactions. We've got the clips, and it is absolutely fire. So as we step into 2025, one thing is clear. De-dollarization is not stopping. It's accelerating. China and other BRICS nations are scared of President Trump, and it's making them more determined to reduce their dependence on the U.S. dollar and establish themselves as global economic superpowers. And the secret weapon is gold. In fact, China resumed buying gold. And you know what's even more telling? They underreport their buys. Doesn't it make you wonder why? They recognize its global value and ability to withstand economic shocks. Gold is a global asset with innate value. It's tangible, reliable, and immune to economic manipulation. And Noble Gold Investments can help you secure your financial future with gold. So visit nextnewsgold.com or call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347, to learn more. Now, let's get into it. There's a lot to unpack tonight. I guess we can start with Congressman Ronnie Jackson. He was on fire reacting to the action in the Oval Office today. Check this out.
Hey everybody, Congressman Ronnie Jackson from the 13th Congressional District of Texas. I'm here at the Republican retreat in Key Biscayne right now, just catching up on some of the news of the day, and I am absolutely astonished at what I saw. This is a message from me as a member of Congress to President Zelenskyy right now. Don't you ever come back to this country again and disrespect our country, disrespect the Oval Office, and disrespect my president the way you did today. After all that we've done for you, your unbelievable sense of entitlement is disgusting to me, and it's disgusting to most Americans in this country. As far as I'm concerned, you can go home and never come back.
Yeah. And he's just one person. Okay, so let's start it out. It started 7 hours ago. The Oval Office showdown, Trump versus Zelenskyy. Things are getting heated. Zelenskyy arrived at the White House, greeted by President Trump. No words to the press, just a thumbs up from Trump. But behind those doors, absolute fire. So let's break it all down. We have the details here, plus all the reaction. The meeting kicks off. It's not pretty. Trump lays it out. This war wouldn't have happened if I were president. And Zelenskyy pleads for more air defense and brings out grim photos to make his case, and Trump doesn't budge. Look at that photograph right there. It looks like a teacher scolding a little boy. Yeah, that's what Zelenskyy is here. Trump to Zelenskyy, you don't have the cards. He reminds him Obama gave him blankets while Trump gave him javelins, the weapons that held back Putin's tanks. But Trump isn't giving handouts anymore. This is all business. Check this out.
with Obama, that was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
Look at that face he makes. Look at the face right here. He raises his eyebrows. I got javelins. I gave you javelins. Zelensky's like, yeah, whatever. I don't even care. J.D. Vance lights into Zelensky, says it's disrespectful to come into the Oval Office and litigate in front of the American media. Trump jumps in. You're gambling with World War III. The tension off the charts today.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are not strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
Yeah, did you hear what he said? You have a nice ocean, but you will feel it in the future. Talk about disrespect. You have a nice ocean. Unbelievable disrespect right there.
Everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
That.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering
position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're playing cards.
Serious.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. It's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of times.
No, in this
Even
entire
today.
meeting, you said thank you.
Even today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Yeah, he went and campaigned for the opposition. Remember that? Trump presses hard. Your soldiers are running low. You're telling us you don't want a ceasefire? Zelensky tries to respond, but Trump isn't having it. Check this out.
Let's go litigate.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on over here. I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look. If you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than it agrees. It's going to be a very hard...
He wants guarantees. Trump unleashes. Your country's in big trouble. You are not winning, making it crystal clear. Ukraine's best and only chance is because of America.
But damn good... Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have our military equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks. Your country.
Zelensky's like, yeah, we've been alone. Are you serious, dude? Zelensky gets heated with J.D. Vance. Vance tells him to stop fighting in the American media. I said, thank you a million times to the American people. Absolutely getting intense. And then we have Trump cutting to the chase. You can't make any deals without compromises. He's focused on ending the war, but Zelensky won't accept a ceasefire. We need security guarantees, but Trump shuts it down. Security is the easy part. We need to make a deal first. Trump is warning Ukraine. This is going to be a very hard thing to do, business like this, laying it all out. And the moment everyone's talking about, yes, when he said Obama gave you sheets, be more thankful. This was not a normal meeting. Trump is treating Ukraine like a business partner, not a charity case, demanding real accountability. Of course, the media is going to spin this. And we've got the full recap of what happened there on our X account, and then it all happened. Zelensky booted from the White House, press conference in limbo. White House press just rushed to the West Wing driveway at 1:22 today. Zelensky's black SUV pulled up, signs point to his immediate departure. This was the play-by-play that we were giving out on X if you were following us all day. Trump's post on Truth Social, we had a very meaningful meeting in the White House. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing what comes out through emotion. And I've determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage. I want peace. He disrespected the U.S. and its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he's ready for peace. The foreign press reports Ukrainian journalists were whispering Zelensky's leaving, but as of now, the limo was parked in the West Wing. It continued to go on. And then Zelensky is gone. The press conference was scrapped. 1:40 p.m. Zelensky left the West Wing, ignoring shouted press questions before his SUV rolled out at 1:42 p.m. Delegation followed at 2:40, officially leaving the White House grounds. There he is departing. Trump shuts it all down. The U.S.-Ukraine mineral deal is dead. A White House official confirms Zelensky walked away with nothing, no deal, no new security guarantees, and no press conference. Zelensky bolting out of the White House, ignoring all of the press, and you can see the action right there. This looks like a shot from the executive office buildings on the White House grounds, and you can see it all breaking down there. The full Oval Office showdown, we can play that in a minute, but I want to get to this too. I sat down with Sabura Shakula from the News Mobile India to break down the diplomatic disaster that unfolded in the Oval Office. And he was there. He says that Zelensky arrived combative, stiff, disrespectful, but let's hear from him directly. All right, Saurav Shukla from News Mobile, White House correspondent. You were there when Zelensky arrived and, of course, all the madness that unfolded in that Oval Office. What's your takeaway?
Well, Gary, I must say that this has been a dark day in diplomacy. A deal which was almost finalized. It was supposed to be signed, and then President Zelensky arrives and for some reason, if you see his body language, the way when he entered as well, was very stiff. And despite the fact that many times during this press gaggle, President Trump tried to be diplomatic, tried to rein him in, but he was really coming across as very aggressively. We see the whole exchange. I studied the entire 40 minutes exchange, inside the Oval, and I can tell you that there have been instances where so many world leaders, you and me were there when Prime Minister Modi was there. There have been other world leaders who have been meeting President Trump. They have been very, very civilized, so to say, because if you have your differences as well, you don't air them in public. You don't try to score brownie points when you know you don't have an upper hand. It's only something else. If something else was there in his mind, he shouldn't have agreed to come in the first place. But when you come here, you respect the office of the President of the United States and the people of the US, who expect you to behave with civility, who expect you to behave in a manner which is befitting any president. And that's what he did not do. And despite the fact, President Trump, I saw the statement coming out, he has been gracious in saying that he still hopes that the peace can return back and President Zelenskyy will be back on the negotiating table. That's a statesman-like statement, Otherwise, the way President Zelenskyy behaved today was really, really undiplomatic. In fact, you should see the cameras panning even on the diplomats who were there seated at the Oval. They were in shock in the manner in which this whole exchange went on. He tried to be prescriptive to Vice President Vance, telling him, oh, you don't know Ukraine, you haven't visited Ukraine. Come on. If you have any difference, you don't say it in front of the cameras. You talk about civilities. The British Prime Minister was there. He and President Trump don't agree on everything. With Indian Prime Minister, they don't agree on everything. But they will be civil when it comes to camera. They will be agreeing to disagree, but not in this shrill manner. I thought that was really very immature behavior as well.
Now, clearly, there was an entire agenda for the day. Zelenskyy arrives, and then they meet in the Oval. They exchange pleasantries in front of the cameras, and then go to a closed working lunch where all of these negotiations should have unfolded. But instead, Zelenskyy had another agenda. He went in, and even J.D. Vance was like, you know what? We're not gonna litigate this in front of the American people on camera. But Zelenskyy pushed and pushed and pushed, and then President Trump, obviously, you saw the body language, the assertion of his President Trump's dominance in that room, and Zelenskyy just made himself look like a fool in front of the entire world. And I want to bring this up because Lindsey Graham was just there at the White House too.
Yes.
And a lot of people are saying, well, you know what? Zelenskyy met with Graham right before this meeting took place, and a lot of people are saying, well, maybe Zelenskyy and Graham, who we know is a war hawk, who is, he loves perpetual war. He's always like bomb everybody, right? But people are saying maybe there was an ulterior motive to derail the peace plan so that this perpetual war could go forward. What are your thoughts on that? And of course, you saw Lindsey when you were there.
I'll tell you what, I heard what Lindsey Graham was saying, that, and his body language obviously was very different. I don't know what transpired between the meeting that he had with Zelenskyy. But yes, Gary, a lot of people profiteer out of war. Who knows who was trying to engineer? But this is on the leadership. You, as the president of Ukraine, should have got on to the Oval Office to do a deal. You should have been gracious in the fact that the people of the United States, the President of the United States, have supported you too thick and thin. This has been a bipartisan support to Ukraine, and you should have been grateful there. You should have actually said that, Mr. President, here is a time we need to resolve some of the issues, and let's do it when we meet for lunch. This is why diplomatic negotiations happened. You and me, when we advise leaders, sometimes we always tell them that you have to be calm and composed. Only if there was something else that was at the mind of Mr. Zelenskyy that you and me don't know, maybe a third factor or a third force guiding him, which wanted the war to go on, which wanted the misery for the Ukrainian people and for the common civilians who are dying and the young soldiers who are dying. Perhaps they wanted this war to go on and they didn't want the peace to happen, which President Trump has been trying very hard. I must say, Gary, that he has been playing President Trump the role of a peacemaker. He has been trying right at the outset of this presidency to bring about peace, whether in the Middle East or to end the Russia-Ukraine war. But there are some elements, it seems, who are, who don't want this peace to prevail, and perhaps one of them guided Zelensky.
Well, it was interesting when Vance brought up the fact that Zelensky was campaigning for the opposition during the election, and then they went to the arms factory in Pennsylvania. They were signing weapons of war with Sharpies, and clearly they have. There's a vested interest for the war machine to continue, and there's a lot of people that make a lot of money off of war, and. That money, as even like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has shared, that money just creates a circle. It comes from the United States and it goes to Ukraine, and then the weapons contracts get brought back into the military-industrial complex here, and then all that big money that these weapons manufacturers get, they have lobbyists, they have lawyers, and they go and they tell the congressman, they take them out to dinner and they schmooze them, and money. And even with like USAID, you never know like how much money is being funneled back through all these different companies and think tanks. So in my opinion, I think there obviously is a vested interest to derail this peace plan. I've never really trusted Lindsey Graham ever, but we'll have to wait and see. What are your final thoughts? Do you think this is completely out the window?
Well, I still see, for now, this is a big, I would say it's a wreck process. I'd written about it, we've been talking about it, and we were hopeful that this war will come to an end. But I do see this as a big setback, and this is a process which will take some time. Even though, as I said, that President Trump played the role of a statesman today, he has issued a statement saying that he wants Zelensky to come back to the table. But the reality is that today Zelensky, after the way he behaved at the Oval Office, was virtually kicked out of the White House. There was no joint presser. He was unceremoniously, in some ways, my sources telling me, was asked to leave because he disrespected the institution of the President of the United States. That's, Gary, if you ask me, was the biggest outline. But I do hope this war can come to an end. The misery of people can end. And obviously, we can use these precious resources to better use for the United States and the world, and for the people of the world. Gary?
All right. Subra Shukla, News Mobile, thank you for joining us for this quick hit, last minute, and we look forward to talking with you more.
Thank you, my friend Gary. All the best. Thank you. Pleasure to talk to you.
All right, so that was my hit here, and then we have this, the world just changed. President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance shattered the deep state's war machine, put America first on the global stage like never before. So this is the press release that was sent out. You can read it in full that I received in my inbox from the White House. But to give you some background, Rubio says no president has ever had the courage to stand up like this. Lindsey Graham, I've never been more proud of Trump. He exposed Zelensky's game for the world to see. Kristi Noem, America's back. We won't be disrespected. Pete Hegseth, amen, Mr. President. Josh Hawley, it's time for accountability and up blank checks. J.D. Vance to Zelensky, you should be thanking the president instead of trying to litigate our problems in the Oval Office. Trump humiliated Zelensky after his outburst, reminding him that without America, Ukraine has no cards to play. This is the moment America took back its power. Top voices from the Senate and House rallying around Trump, declaring an era of endless war and unchecked foreign aid is over. Tommy Tuberville, thank you, Mr. President and VP Vance, for putting America first. Steve Scalise, Trump is fighting for peace while putting America first. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Trump just showed the world how real leaders act. America's done being walked on. Mike Lee, thank you for standing up for our country. Jim Banks, gone are the days of foreign leaders walking all over us. The mineral deal was never signed. Trump saw Zelensky's game for what it was and refused to let it play. We have even more. Look at this. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, let's go. We've got, okay, I've got so much in this thread here. Okay, Zelensky gone. official. Trump shutting him out. Now let's take a look. Here is President Trump just before he was departing for West Palm Beach. Our own Todd Siegel was on the ground in West Palm Beach awaiting Air Force One. You can see all the footage on our X account, but let's go to the moment when President Trump speaks to the press on the South Lawn following today's events.
So I just want to say we're going down to Florida. We have a big event tomorrow night, a big MAGA event, Make America Great Again. And it's setting records, and otherwise I'd rather be right now at the White House. But we're doing the big event tomorrow night. We had some big news this week, as you know, because Apple is investing $500 billion. Think of that. And that's going to be a lot. It's going to be a tremendous investment. I guess the biggest investment anybody's ever made in the country at one time. But they're going to be investing a lot of money, $500 billion. We have many other companies that just announced they're coming in. A lot of it's because of how we're doing. We've done a great turnaround in a little more than 30 days, but the country's really doing well. Really doing well. We're respected again all over the world. If you look, we had the Japanese Prime Minister. We had the Prime Minister yesterday of UK, as you know. We had the Prime Minister of India. We have another 20 Prime Ministers and Presidents wanting to come. And very good feeling. I think our country has really turned around. We had a meeting today, as you know, with President Zelenskyy, and I would say it didn't work out exactly great from his standpoint. I think he very much overplayed his hand. We're looking for peace. We're not looking for somebody that's going to sign up a strong power and then not make peace because they feel emboldened, and that's what I saw happening. I'm looking for peace. We're not looking to go into a 10-year war and play games. We want peace. And it was just my impression that if we do that, if we sign up, he's looking for something that I'm not looking for. He's looking to go on and fight. We're looking to end the death. 2,000 people died this week. Soldiers, more than that, but 2,000 approximately people died this week. Young Ukrainians and Russians. And somebody would say, why do you care about Ukraine and Russian soldiers? I care about them. I care about everybody. And we're not doing that. Now, if we don't do anything, he's going to have to make peace, but he's dealing with a very weak set of cards. If we sign, he's dealing with a very strong set of cards, and then he doesn't want to make peace. So that's where we are. It's very simple. I'm not looking to get into anything protracted. I want immediate peace. President Putin is going to want to make, and he wants to end it. And you saw what I saw today. This is a man that wants to get us signed up and keep fighting, and we're not doing that. Not for this country. So we're setting a lot of records. Economically, we're setting records, and I think every way we're setting records. One of the best is the right track, wrong track. You saw that. We're on the right track for the first time in over 27 years. People are impressed with that. The other thing is the feeling about our country. The feeling is great. It's up 48% on feeling on business. And that's the record we've never had. There's never been a record where we've ever gone up that much in such a short period of time. So we're doing really well. And I guess some of you are coming with us, and if you are, I hope you're going to have a good flight. What? He's got to say, I want to make peace. He doesn't have to stand there and say about Putin this, Putin that, all negative things. He's got to say, I want to make peace. I don't want to fight a war any longer. His people are dying. He doesn't have the cards, just so you understand it, okay?
Did you tell Zelenskyy to leave the White House?
I don't have to tell you that. Go ahead. I think you know the answer to it. What? Wait. Look, I don't trust or distrust anybody. I just want to get a deal done. And if the deal happens, good. But you can't embolden somebody that does not have the cards, and all of a sudden that person says, oh, well, now I can keep fighting. We're not going to keep fighting. You're going to get the war done, or let them go and see what happens. Let them fight it out.
Do you want to step down?
I want anybody that's going to make peace. If he's capable of making peace, which he may or may not be, but I want somebody that's going to make peace. Again, he doesn't have the cards. When we sign up, he's got all of the cards. That doesn't mean he can fight. He's got to stop the fighting, stop the death. He's losing hundreds of thousands of soldiers. It's time to stop the death.
How long do you think it will take to get the
Well, he says he wants it now. He wants to come back right now, but I can't do that. They should have an immediate ceasefire. That was the other thing he didn't want to do about ceasefire. A ceasefire could take place immediately. A contract, if you want to end the war, you sign up an agreement. That's going to take a period of time. It takes time. I want it to end immediately. And I think if you had a ceasefire, it would be a ceasefire, a real one, that would end it. But he doesn't want to do that. That's fine. Do a better job. I want it to end immediately. I want a ceasefire now. He says, oh, I don't want a ceasefire. Well, all of a sudden, he's a big shot because he has the U.S. on his side. Either we're going to end it or let him fight it out. And if he fights it out, it's not going to be pretty. Because without us, he doesn't win. Let me tell you. It doesn't matter what I'm considering. I'm just telling you. You saw what I saw today. That was not a man that wanted to make peace. And I'm only interested if he wants to end the bloodshed. Thank you very much. So I just...
Wow. Here's Mancow, my buddy. This is what he had to say.
You know how much money I've given Zelenskyy? $4,000. $1,000 for me, my wife, my kids. You've given $1,000 to this guy. For what? You know how much money I've given Zelenskyy?
Yeah, for what? Exactly. For what? And then we've got this. Okay, Zelensky's asked if the public spat in front of the media at the Oval Office served Ukrainians well. This was on Fox News.
Spat is... But do you think the public spat in the Oval Office in front of the media served Ukrainians well today?
I think this kind of spat is I mean, this this is not good for both sides anyway. And I very open, but I can't, change our Ukrainian attitude to Russia, and I don't want they kill us for us. This is very, very clear that Americans are the best of our friends, Europeans are the best of our friends, and Putin with Russian, they are enemies. And it doesn't mean that we don't want peace. We just want to recognize the reality, the real situation.
But do you? Yeah, the real situation is that people are now calling for you to resign. Ukrainian MP Dubinsky just called for an emergency session of Ukraine's parliament to initiate impeachment proceedings against President Zelenskyy after the Oval Office shouting match. This is huge. Zelensky's regime is collapsing in real time. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has also terminated U.S. support for Ukraine energy grid restoration after Zelenskyy disrespected the United States in the Oval Office. FAFO Zelenskyy. And here he is. Remember when President Trump said, you want to talk about peace? Just say you're ready for peace. Well, he ran to Fox News after he saw that Truth Social post and said this.
That we have
that you will never sign a deal with Vladimir Putin. Is he right?
No. I think so. What I think, Ukraine wants peace, and we will have anyway diplomacy. We will have negotiations. I only said that I think so. It's about just and lasting peace. It means that we have to be very strong at the table of negotiations, and at these negotiations, Ukraine and Russia, like sides of this war, have to be, and the United States and Europe. That's what I said. So we are ready for peace, but we have to be in strong position. What does it mean? Just to know that our army is strong, that our partners with us, and that we have security guarantees. Am I not right?
Leave that.
Security guarantees is what he's looking for. And I think we've probably given him enough security guarantees. Oh, and then check this out. Okay. Some eagle-eared folks were listening to this in the Oval Office, and they state that Zelenskyy called J.D. Vance a bitch, and the mic caught it. Yes, he called him a bitch in his native tongue. Listen.
And seen, I have been to. I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour. I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. I have been.
Wow, talk about disrespecting the Oval Office. The Ukrainian ambassador to the United States also seems to be the only one in the room who understands the extent of the damage Zelenskyy has done to his cause. Her grim expression and the moment she picks up her pen are not just an expression of frustration, but a reflection of the failure. This is the moment she saw it all, and she said, oh my goodness, it is over. She realized what just happened. Zelenskyy overstepped and created a mess out of the entire situation. And of course, people are talking about the look on Rubio's face wasn't all that great either. Yeah. Rubio, neocon, hawk in his own right, sitting there with this glum look on his face. And then we have this. Representative Byron Donalds thinks that President Trump is absolutely correct. Let's listen to these remarks.
Acceptable, not going to happen. I think that the president is absolutely correct. First of all, you can't have another leader come into our Oval Office and disrespect our president. Just unacceptable, not going to happen. You could disagree however you want, but you do that behind closed doors. You don't do that in front of the world using the press as your vehicle. And so I think President Trump and Vice President Vance were absolutely correct to throw him out of there. And I know some people might be like, well, that's just not how these things are done. Let me tell you how this really works. You cannot have people disrespect you and then you still walk in and do a deal with them. The truth of the matter is that this deal's been on the table for about a month or so now. Vladimir Zelenskyy is the one that's slow walking the deal. And look, we want peace. We want to end this conflict. We cannot continue this conflict. And to be very blunt, Ukraine can't continue this conflict. I think that
we can't. We got to keep going. We need to have peace. And Zelenskyy just threw it all out the window. Now he's groveling on Fox News. The ambassador melting down. What else do we have here? This is Secretary Scott Bessent. You don't do a negotiation with the President of the United States like this.
Afterwards,
wow.
David, you don't do a negotiation with the President of the United States in public like this. That we were scheduled to have lunch afterwards, and that perhaps he could have brought up some of the points. Instead, he chose to let things go into a downward spiral on worldwide television. And, again, I keep coming back to the disrespect of the American people. It was one thing for President Zelenskyy and I had an extended, heated negotiation in Kyiv, but we were going to get this economic agreement done. But, when you bring it out to the public like this, we'll see if there's any coming back.
David, is there any coming back from this? We'll have to wait and see. There's so much to get into here. Here's the moment. Okay, so everybody knows Zelenskyy, he just disrespects the office regardless of who's in it. He always shows up looking like he just came out of the gym or he's in a tracksuit or something like that. I don't know. But this is when President Trump actually noted it. Listen to this.
Ready, close? How are you? Ready, shut?
He's all dressed up today.
President Trump, what's your message to Vladimir Putin, sir? President Trump, you got to stop me. President Trump, you got to Vladimir Putin.
You're all dressed up today. Oh, yeah. And I think we've got another clip here. Okay, so look at this. Okay, so this is Dan Scavino. This is the empty joint press conference in the East Room that could have been filled up to capacity with the respectful questions being asked, a signed deal, but Zelenskyy threw it all out the window. Brian Hughes notes, Trump came to work this day ready to help move Ukraine towards peace and prosperity. Unimaginably, Ukraine's leader came to make a disrespectful spectacle of himself and his nation. Here's another shot of Zelenskyy and President Trump together. This was right before it all went down. But there's a question that Brian Glenn asked. I think I've got it here somewhere. We'll get to that in a second if I can track it down. Oh, yes, here it is. This is the Newsmax reporter, Brian Glenn. Oh, man. This was absolutely priceless. I'm going to be in D.C. all next week, and I got to say, Brian, dude, that was the money shot right there, baby. Thank you for asking the question on every American's minds, confronting Zelenskyy. Check this out, folks.
Finish?
Okay. Second question.
My second question for President Zelenskyy. Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if do you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting
I don't have
the
such.
office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something like this?
Yours.
Sir.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for.
I'll wear something better. I'll wear something cheaper. Oh, my goodness. Man, Glenn, you just nailed him. You nailed him. That was absolutely beautiful. That was probably one of my favorite moments. Let's check it with Stephen Crowder and his thoughts immediately following the whole debacle.
No. Not in public.
No. Just watch the exchange.
I mean, Crowder's remarks are really good here. Listen.
With Zelenskyy and President Trump, Vance. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Have you?
No. Not in public.
Not in public. Look, here's the thing. Okay, and people want to act like you're either Ukraine or you're Russia, you're Putin. I can't stand Putin. Do I think he's former KGB? Yeah. Do I think he's a totalitarian? Yeah. Do I think he's interested in freedom? Absolutely not. Don't like the way that he went into Ukraine. I think he'll take anything he can get. All right? But Zelenskyy is more indicative of the pervasive problem that we're dealing with. Whether it's NATO, whether it's the UN, whether it's the rest of Europe, whether it's Canada, this idea that it's a never-ending supply of support from the United States while you bitch about it. This has to start with some semblance of truth, okay? Without the United States, guess what? You're Russia, Ukraine. That was the law of the land. That's what happened. Stronger nations conquered weaker nations. All of these modern comforts that people take for granted, they are entirely supported by the United States and our military. Not a nation in Europe, certainly not Ukraine, certainly not Canada. And that is the mindset that emboldens people like Putin, because they know at a certain point that well runs dry. Does that make sense? Does that make someone pro-Russia to acknowledge there's no winning here, and there's certainly no winning without the United States? And if you accept those truths, probably not a good idea to walk into the Oval Office and be a dick. Here's how you know he's not being honest, Zelenskyy. First off, everything is a photo. He rubs me the wrong way, okay? Can't stand Putin, got it? Zelenskyy rubs me the wrong way. Why? Because he's walking around in the same outfit like he's cartoon Steve Jobs, and he's working for a book deal after this. None of it seems genuine. And he sits and he says, we have been strong since day one, and we have been alone. They haven't been strong since day one. They've been getting, this has been a shellacking, and everyone has been with them since day one. None of those statements are honest. How many Ukraine flags on X, on Instagram? How many hundreds of billions of dollars, largely from the United States and other nations, for you to say, oh, well, maybe you haven't been alone? Please, thank you. These are the words that people might like to hear when you come to our motherfucking Oval Office.
Yeah, please and thank you. How about it? Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Oh, boy. Okay, President Trump had Zelenskyy kicked out. This is the moment that we learned about what happened.
House. This is what I was told. The president has kicked Zelenskyy out of the White House. His delegation right now is telling him that he's got to go home. This is what I was told.
Kicked out of the White House. Here is Representative Kevin Hearn on Zelenskyy being ill-prepared for the meeting.
And Trump it was terrible. He was certainly ill prepared for that meeting, coming into the White House and not even knowing his audience, having seen President Trump over the years, his negotiation skills. This is incredible to see what's going on. And I know he's putting out posts afterwards saying thank you, but he had a big missed opportunity when he was sitting in front of the cameras. And the rest of the world, there's a lot of conversation about the rest of the world. I really think the rest of the world gets to see he has not lost his edge at all. He is determined to end the war in Ukraine. He's determined for the world to get back at peace as it was when he was in office before. No wars ever started under President Trump. All he wanted to do is put out the fires all over the world that this President Biden left him. Yeah, it was terrible. He was
totally ill-prepared. Unbelievable moments today in the Oval Office. And then we got this from Breitbart. Elon Musk posting, time to find out what really happened to the hundreds of billions of dollars sent to Ukraine. It's DOGE time, baby. We're going to find out real soon where all that money actually went. Elon Musk is on the case. Wall Street Mav had this take. Trump is trying to stop the killing. Zelensky's refusing to agree to even negotiate with Putin until Putin essentially surrenders and withdraws. Zelenskyy is not in a position to make demands prior to negotiation. It's not a realistic position. Putin is obviously not withdrawing. What else do we got for you here on this? So much is happening. Okay, we got more. We got Byron Donalds. The meeting just deteriorating. Unbelievable. I mean, this picture says it all right there. Ukrainian ambassador, totally ashamed. Why don't you wear a suit? That was amazing. Here's the actual moment. CBN caught this. Watch this. Look at her. She's like, oh, no. Here it is. Oh, yep. Completely embarrassed by her own president. Oh, and then we have this, okay? This was right before the meeting. Real Robert states it wasn't just Zelenskyy who got bitch slapped today. The whole effing thing was bitch slapped, and the echo is reverberating across the world, including in the United States Congress. This is the welcome that Zelenskyy was hoping to get in the Oval Office, but clearly he did not. And keep in mind, these are all your members of Congress, your senators, all sitting there. Oh, hey, here's our hero. Let's see if we can find a way to back channel some more money to this Ukraine conflict so we can keep the war machine fed.
Thank you very much.
How are you? How you doing? Hi. Good to see you, pal.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
You look good. How's it going?
Really?
Yes.
Hang in there. Hang in there. Got a lot of friends here.
Yeah, hang in there. You got a lot of friends here. That's what he said.
Thank you very much for this.
Yeah, so what's going to happen? I think we've got the clip. Here's Lindsey Graham. Here's Lindsey Graham, who is the biggest neocon in Congress and wants direct war with Russia, calls on Zelenskyy to resign after his behavior in the Oval Office. Do you believe what he's saying? Do you believe? I mean, whatever happened in that Oval Office today clearly derailed the peace plan. So I don't know if I can believe Lindsey Graham here, but let's watch.
Deal which would. All right.
For you and for us.
So, what I think? Complete, utter disaster. I've been to Ukraine 8 or 9 times since the war started. I understand the consequences of Putin's actions against Ukraine. I appreciate what the Ukrainian people have done. They fought like tigers. At the end of the day, I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well. I talked to Zelenskyy this morning. Don't take the bait. President Trump was in a very good mood last night. Somebody asked me, am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance, standing up for our country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelenskyy again. I think most Americans saw a guy that they would not want to go in business with. The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president was just over the top. So I think the relationship between Ukraine and America is important, vitally important. But can Zelenskyy do a deal with the United States? After what I saw, I don't know.
What would he need to do, sir? Questions. Senator Graham.
You saw lunch with President Trump. What did he say to you about his interactions and whether he thinks
he was shocked? He was very upbeat. I told Zelenskyy, we'll talk about security guarantees. We'll talk about ceasefires and how the war ends. This is a process. You have a new relationship with America, a $500 billion, half a $1 trillion deal that President Trump is proud of, that gives us an interest worth defending. Let's talk about the positive. But he was terrible at Munich, Zelenskyy, and I think he has made it almost impossible to sell to the American people that he's a good investment, that he is a good business.
Last question. Senator Graham. Hey, one at a time. One at a time. Christian Daytime. Senator Graham, thank you. Do you think President Zelenskyy needs to resign to resume these peace talks?
He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he needs to change.
That's Harrison Rogers right there, calling out, no more questions, no more questions. It's wild seeing some of those folks that I see in the press office right there on camera. Pretty cool stuff, though. Let's see what else we've got for you guys here. Sorry, had to sneeze here. Okay, I think we've got a lot of it covered. My goodness, the fireworks today, absolutely amazing. And of course, it all culminated at the end of the day when our own producer, Todd, was on the ground there. Historic, unreal, absolute mayhem. What happened today will go down as one of the most chaotic and defining moments in modern politics. Let's recap the insanity. So this morning, Zelenskyy arrived at the White House, ready to sign a minerals deal and secure U.S. support, but things went off the rails fast. Inside the Oval Office, Zelenskyy clashed with Trump and J.D. Vance, pushing for more aid, lecturing the U.S. president on Ukraine's needs, refusing to accept a ceasefire. Trump, visibly furious, called him out. You're gambling with World War III. You don't have the cards. You're running out of soldiers. Then came the bombshell. Trump kicked Zelenskyy out of the White House. Minutes later, Trump dropped a nuke on Truth Social. Zelenskyy is not ready for peace. He can come back when he is. The press conference scrapped, minerals deal collapsed, Zelenskyy stormed out of D.C. It did not end there. Check this out. The FBI is now returning Trump's property, the classified documents the deep state raided his home for. Now loaded on the Air Force One and returned to Trump before takeoff. Then Marine One landed at Joint Base Andrews. Trump boarded Air Force One and was gone. POTUS back in Florida. Here is the moment that Todd captured on the tarmac, Air Force One and President Trump departing from the aircraft.
Here we go, here we go.
So there's President Trump departing Air Force One. We got some more clips there on X. I mean, Todd was visibly moved that he had the opportunity to see Air Force One.
You see what's right behind me, right? I could not be more excited at this very moment. I am literally standing in front of Air Force effing One. President Trump just exited. I have footage of that. I'll share that, but I wanted you to see, because I was trying to be respectful of the other media folks here, so as not to talk in their shot. But now that he's gone, I can tell you how fucking unbelievable this experience has been. My mind is blown. Look at it. That's Air Force One. Yep.
That was in West Palm Beach. And then he was super excited to share this picture. I've got, here it is. This is White House press pool, Todd Siegel, Next News Network, history being made. Here's the moment that President Trump departed Marine One when he was still in D.C., heading to Air Force One. So, folks, it has been an absolutely amazing day. Make sure you follow us on X, because we're tracking this stuff in real time all day long. We're getting all the emails, press releases from the White House. So many things happening. In fact, this just happened before this report. President Trump changing the game again. First ever White House Crypto Summit happening on March 7th. The White House Crypto Summit is happening. So this is going to be exciting. So the implications of today's Oval Office showdown cannot be overstated. When Trump told Zelenskyy, "You're gambling with World War III," he was laying down a marker for the entire world. It's not just about Ukraine. It's about America reasserting its leadership and demanding accountability from those who take our aid. The mineral deal that was supposed to be signed, dead. The press conference that was scheduled, canceled. Zelenskyy left with nothing but a bruised ego and a stark message: America first. And now he's facing impeachment back at home. As Marco Rubio said, no president has ever had the courage to stand up like this. So the question now is, will Zelenskyy come back to the table ready for peace, or will he continue to gamble with the lives of millions? What do you think? Was Trump right to take such a hard line with Ukraine? Drop a comment below. Grab your Next News swag, grab a hat from our merch shop, and show the world you support real news. Wow. That was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. What a day. But we're not done yet. We've got more news to get to. I'm going to check in on our super chats here. I saw some coming through. Some folks complaining about my ads. Well, you can stick it where the sun don't shine, because our ads pay for you to get the free news. So enjoy that. All right, buddy? Okay, so let's see. We got Juan Ruiz dropping 20 memberships. Robbie Hoove dropping a membership. Wow. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Hey, boss, we want to see the Trump dance, $5. $2 from Sharon. Mimi says $20. She drops. She says, today was mind-blowing. Thank God for Trump and Vance. Thank you, Gary. God's blessings always to you and your family. MRO Lavon dropping $5. See my message, which follows this one, but couldn't be posted in pay and send. And then 3% Prepper has become a member. Duty to Rebel has gifted a membership. Duty to Rebel also becoming a member. Don't Tread on Me. The fast way to end this conflict is to take Z on a ride to the train station in Yellowstone. Oh, man, that's brutal. Billy Callahan. I don't agree, Gary. Z's boys are being killed every day. I'm a huge Trump fan. And you, from the way back, bad move by Trump. No, Billy, I have to disagree. We got to end this war. And that's what President Trump is trying to do, to stop Z's boys from being killed every day. And Zelenskyy was showboating in that Oval Office, and he killed the deal. Wondrous dropping $10. Lindsay is garbage. And then Tom B 420 dropping $5. Thanks, Gary N3 Army. What's up? And then Juan Ruiz dropping another 10 memberships. Man, I think when last I checked, we had like over 600 members now, which is absolutely crazy. Viv B dropping 5 Next News memberships as well. Thank you, Viv. Of course, we owe you for getting on our ass about starting the memberships, so we thank you. Okay, let's get back. We got more news. People are dropping off because, Francie's just talking. Okay, well, guess what? We're going to get to the news. You got it. We're going to play. Let's go. Let's see. We're going to be, yes, this is what everyone is talking about today. Let's find out. The gloves are off in what might be the most explosive cover-up in modern American history. Attorney General Pam Bondi has just revealed that the FBI's New York office is deliberately withholding crucial Jeffrey Epstein files from the American people. Out of thousands of pages, only 120 have been released, and whistleblowers are now coming forward with shocking revelation about who is behind the obstruction. Reports suggest officials with direct ties to former FBI Director James Comey are orchestrating this massive concealment operation. Ted Cruz called it unprecedented, saying he's never seen anything like it before. The deep state's in panic mode, and Bondi has given them until 8 a.m. to release everything. That was 8 a.m. this morning. And what happened? We're going to tell you exactly what happened. Now, the Epstein scandal has exposed a web of corruption that's been hidden for decades, just like these sinister cover-ups. The signs of aging often creep up on us silently over time. Recent studies show collagen supplementation can dramatically reduce skin's visible age markers, but not all collagen is created equal. When battling both corruption and aging, you need a solution backed by science. That's why I recommend this multi-collagen formula. It's transformed my appearance. Can't you tell? With 5 types of collagen from 4 different sources, it supports everything from reduced wrinkles to improved elasticity. Visit healthwithgary.com. It's linked down below, and take 51% off during their special promotion. Okay. Lots to unpack in this. I don't even know where to begin. I guess we should probably begin from the start. Savannah Hernandez, she was there. She received these documents, and this is what she had to say.
For dissemination. Hey guys, this is Savannah Hernandez in front of the White House with, yes, one of those Epstein file binders. Now, I want to clear something up immediately and state that nobody from the Trump admin gave us these binders and said, you guys are going to be the ones responsible for disseminating this information. They actually told us that there's going to be a press conference at any moment now, most likely this afternoon, in which all of the information in this binder is made available to the American public. Now, Pam this morning stated to us that some of the information in here is already public, and she doesn't really feel that any of this information is a smoking gun. The big story here is Pam writing a letter to Kash Patel asking him to investigate why the FBI has stopped the release of other portions of the Epstein files. So that is what is currently going on, and I wanted to come out as a journalist as well and state that, again, we are not responsible for deciding what does or does not come out. All of the information in this binder will be made public. Pam Bondi herself stated that she wants all of the Epstein files to be made public to the American people, not just to influencers or independent journalists, but that in itself has been a process. Now, one of the reasons why I have this is because the Trump admin right now is making a big push for not only transparency, but being welcoming to independent journalists who might have been looked down on, ignored, or even censored over the last 4 years. This administration is making a big push right now to allow American people to come into the Oval Office, to come into the White House and directly talk to the president, the vice president, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, RFK Jr. about what they are going to be doing for the American people. So it's really interesting to see how this administration is handling the media and allowing independent people, American citizens, to come into the Oval Office and talk directly to highest members of the administration. So I wanted to give you guys my update on this. There will be a press conference. All of this will be made public.
So if you're not following Savannah Hernandez, you need to follow her on X at Sav Says. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. Okay, so this came out late last night. Pam Bondi on the American people have a right to know everything. Listen to Pam Bondi herself. Elon Musk says the plot thickens.
There. So, as you know, we released about 120 pages of documents, and I started asking for these documents right when I came into office and before Kash Patel was in there. So I ended up getting about 120 pages. We carefully redacted them, of course, to be sure the 254 young girls, women who are victims of sex crimes and sex trafficking, their personal information was redacted and out of there to protect them. So I'm going through it and I kept saying, there has to be more, there has to be more. I'm assured that's it. Kash asked the same questions. Assured there's no more. I found out, this week that a source told me New York, SDNY, they're sitting on thousands of pages of documents regarding Epstein. Thousands. And of course, you've seen the very strong letter. We will get everything. We will have it in our possession. We will redact it, of course, to protect grand jury information and confidential witnesses. But the American people have a right to know. And Donald Trump is the most transparent president in our nation's history. So not only will America get the full Epstein files, they will get JFK, they will get Martin Luther King. As you know,
Okay, now we got to keep digging. There's a lot to unpack, okay? Again, we have a lot of clips here breaking all this stuff down. Here's Ted Cruz, okay, posted 12 hours ago. On today's episode of The Verdict, we talk about the latest bombshell allegations. Let's listen to Ted Cruz as he's apparently driving.
Today, we have truly bombshell allegations. The Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, has accused the New York field office of the FBI of deliberately hiding, of withholding thousands of Jeffrey Epstein documents. She's pledged to make these documents public, and she says the FBI field office in New York is fighting her and refusing to give her the documents. We break that all down in today's podcast, Verdict with Ted Cruz. We also break down a stunning news story that the New York Post is reporting on. Evidence that the attempted assassin in Butler, Pennsylvania, who shot President Trump, may have had one or more accomplices. We break down what we know. We go into it all. Download Verdict with Ted Cruz anywhere you get your podcasts.
Wow, Ted Cruz. I hope he wasn't driving. Okay, and then we have more. Okay, don't go anywhere. We're not done yet. Here's Mike Davis talking with Benny Johnson. Mike Davis says the deep state scum who buried Epstein's secrets from AG Pam Bondi will see a jail cell.
Obstruction of justice, there's conspiracy. There's a whole litany of charges that you can come up with. If you are illegally disobeying the Attorney General of the United States on her investigation of this, you're going to have big problems. You're going to have big job problems. You're going to have big problems with your bar as an attorney, and you're going to have big problems with the criminal justice system.
Good. Okay, we're not done yet. Okay, here's a clip from Ted Cruz's show, The Verdict. Let's listen to what he was talking about.
Materials, and from the letter, there may be audio and video recordings. There may be some issue that some of the materials were seized illegally. I mean, there's a suggestion there that regardless of how it was accessed, I want it. But look, I got to say, listen, I worked in the Department of Justice 25 years ago. I have been working in and around law enforcement for virtually my entire adult life. I have never seen something like this happen. So understand, the FBI reports to the Department of Justice. Kash Patel, his boss, is Pam Bondi. The FBI is in the org chart reporting to the Department of Justice. So when the Attorney General orders the FBI, I want to see these files. In every instance I'm aware of, the FBI complies. They're supposed to be law enforcement. If the Attorney General says, I want to see something, you give it to the Attorney General. And Look, presumably we will find out, and we'll find out, I guess, within 2 weeks when Kash Patel prepares his report saying here's what happened. But it is astonishing if you have rogue agents in the New York office of the FBI who are just defying the Attorney General. That is a level of open warfare that I've never seen, and it really does indicate the need to clean house in a major way.
Let's just hope that they continue to clean house. Okay, I'm going to keep going. We've got lots to unpack here. Here is Resist the Mainstream. General Flynn demands the arrest of all individuals named in the Epstein files. We have this. Laura Logan, this is absolutely right. A huge story that should not be missed. This will have far-reaching consequences, nothing like it's been done. While all the buzz is about the Epstein file garbage, the real news is the historic extradition of 29 cartel leaders from Mexico to the U.S. We'll have a story on that. And here we have, check this out. Here's Elon Musk, and we got a clip from Alex as well. Elon Musk talking about the Epstein clients with Joe Rogan.
Yes. It's just, it's so blatant. It's like so obvious. The SpaceX lawsuit, the Trump stuff, it's so obvious.
Yes. Like known Epstein clients who are obviously extremely powerful, they're powerful politically and very wealthy, are, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, and Reid Hoffman. And some others too, but those three. So, why was Reid Hoffman so intent on destroying Trump?
Do you think it's because they're worried about the list coming out?
Yeah, one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
That's one of the reasons. Let's check in with Alex and get his take on this right now. Where's the clip? Here it is. AG Pam Bondi has proof the disgraced former FBI Director James Brian Comey has been running the case cover-up. Check this out.
DOGE. Major historic developments have now unfolded in Donald Trump's populist battle with the globalist deep state. AG Pam Bondi's deadline that she set yesterday in a letter to Kash Patel to get her all the hidden secret documents at the Southern District of New York DOJ headquarters has passed. We don't know if she got the information, but we now know she's talked to specific high-level whistleblowers that had the documents themselves and were not told directly to give them to her. Thousands of pages, videos, recordings. And, of course, we know that it came out in the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell that the FBI had all these safes, hard drives, and hundreds of notebooks, but they lost them or they got stolen, right? Well, we actually know who's behind all of this. It's James Comey. His daughter, Maureen Comey, ran all the investigations on Epstein and all the different federal cases there out of New York. Isn't that convenient? And then James Dennehy is over the Southern District of New York, and he's been the most arrogant person in the DOJ, saying we're not going to do what Trump says. We're going to dig in the resistance. He actually said dig in. Surprised he wasn't fired for insubordination back then, but he's going to be fired right now. And then let Congress have hearings and haul him in so he can defend himself. These people are arrogant, absolutely out of control individuals. They've had the Southern District for years with grand juries trying to indict my ass. I had to hire lawyers, all the rest of it. That's just some of the backstory you don't know about. Okay, these people are out of control. It is a weaponization, persecution, secret police factory. Okay, and they were running with the CIA Epstein. Okay, Comey goes way back. Comey, a lot of evidence shows, was one of the main handlers of Epstein. So it's not like he's protecting the deep state. He is the deep state. And Kash Patel told a reporter I talked to yesterday, he said, look, they've totally screwed up. We know they've been destroying this for years. We knew that they've been hiding it. We know they made copies. And now we've got them in the obstruction. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. Patel's real. Bondi's real. These guys tried to pull a fast one, and it blew up in their face. I'll be on the air at 11 a.m. Central covering it all. Harrison Smith's on right now at 8 a.m. Central at Real Alex Jones on X and at Infowars.com/.
Gotta love Alex. Okay, so here is Real America's Voice weighing in on this.
That's where Kash Patel.
You have another important thing you're doing. You're moving to make sure that the Epstein files don't get shredded, moved, or destroyed by someone in the FBI or some other intelligence agency. It was an awkward day yesterday. We thought we were going to get more than we actually got, but the process is going to continue. We're going to get more, but tell us what your legislation would do to make sure nothing goes astray here.
Well, it's called the Pedo Act, obviously pedophile, but it's to prevent Epstein document obliteration. And so, you know, look, again, I don't trust the government. We know the government has been hiding things from us. I mean, heck, they just found, 2,600 new, quote unquote, JFK files. Yeah, come on, give me a break. And so what my bill does is it requires all agencies to preserve any documents related to Epstein and the saga therein, because keep in mind, some of these jurisdictions may be outside the immediate reach of Pam Bondi, so like the FAA, for example. So it's important that individuals who were raping these little girls and perhaps even boys be brought to justice, and the only way to do that is to have access to the files. Now, as far as the release goes, I think you have to set expectations. Pam Bondi's only been Attorney General, 2 weeks? She's just getting in there. But what this does is it creates a baseline. This is what we have. This is what we can release. We're going through the files. And look, she was a great Attorney General down in Florida. I think she's going to be a great Attorney General for the United States of America. She's a pit bull. She's not going to back down. She's not going to waver to the D.C. class, and so, or bow down to the D.C. class. So I just give her some time, be patient. And look, I'm more than happy to hold anybody accountable or call them out, but it's a little too soon to be getting on Pam Bondi's case when I truly think she's trying to do the right thing. And like you said, we know we've got the field office in New York that's obfuscating and hiding documents right now. And so that, that's where Kash Patel comes in, does his job, and if he has to, I'm not telling him what to do, but he needs to go up there and get those files himself. Heck, I'll go with him, but get those files over to Pam Bondi.
So that was Representative Andy Noggles of Tennessee. We've got more here. Check this guy, the Daddy Twins. This guy's good. I like this guy. Check this out.
We saw all those. What a shit show yesterday, right? Everybody was waiting for the files to be released, this new list, all this new information coming from the island and Jeffrey, but we got nothing. We got popcorn for it, right? We saw all those influencers standing outside the Oval Office holding up these binders. Turns out there was nothing new in there. We saw it. There was nothing new, no new names on the list. Alex Jones did a breakdown last night, and he was like, hey, this is new, this is new, this is new, but it's not what the American people wanted. But Pam gave them till 8 o'clock this morning, which is right about right now, to release the rest of the data and the files, but yet to be seen. Here that is right here. Pam Bondi says she gives the FBI until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning to deliver the full files to her desk. That's right now. And Laura Loomer's pissed, and who wouldn't be, right? He says, I don't want a binder. I want morons on the right to wake up and admit that the files of this nature needed to be released in an open source portal with full transparency. We agree, Laura, but it's not happening, right? Person tweets this out. It's a good one. He says, how far can the Dems' resistance in New York go? How much longer can they openly defy direct orders from the president and the attorney general? That's the test. That's what we're waiting. It's not even about the files anymore. It's about how much blockage they're doing to get to the truth, and it's a lot. And this is what supposedly was recovered then lost from the raid on his house. You see that right there, all those CD discs? And here's all these tapes that they supposedly had then lost, and I'll tell you what. You know what you're looking at right there? That's the most powerful box in the entire world. That box right there, that might as well be the Ark of the Covenant, because whatever's in that box could change the entire world forever. And in the end, we're all just sitting around just waiting for this to pop. Let's see what happens. Do you have faith it's going to happen today?
Yeah, do you have faith? We're going to still have to wait and see. Let's continue. We got another take here. John Fredericks. The American people deserve full transparency.
Marshals. So nobody's a bigger fan than Pam Bondi than me, and I love what she's trying to do here, but you got to release these Epstein tapes. It's very simple as that. You can't piecemeal them out. You can't tell me that somebody in the FBI is not releasing them. If that's true, send the U.S. Marshals, raid the office, get the files, release them to the public. Whatever it is we want to see, JFK files, RFK files, George Wallace assassination. You got to release these tapes. We were promised transparency. We all want to see it. I understand there's a protocol to go through, but trying to go on Jesse Waters of Fox News is not the answer here. Let's get the files. Let's see what's in them. We'll let the chips fall where they may. And if somebody in your jurisdiction is not giving them to you and you're their boss, you need to fire them today and get rid of their pension and get the U.S. Marshals in there. Now, all these town halls, I told you these were phony. Town halls, everybody's upset about DOGE. People are coming in like there's mass rioting and all these congressmen are getting, they're getting all these people in their grill and they're all upset. No, these, like we said, with the first one that happened, I looked at tape, I'm like, these are George Soros paid protesters. They're getting paid. Now we find out they're George Soros paid protesters. By the way, this is not Soros money. This is your taxpayer dollars paying protest through Soros organizations to come out and disrupt meetings of congressmen. And of course, the fake lying news media, the regime news, which has basically been kicked out of the White House to a certain extent, that whole cartel blew up on them. They're all reporting it as, this is organic, this is grassroots, everybody's upset. They knew, like I knew, these were paid protesters. That's why our media company is growing. They're dying because they're fake. It is simple.
It's as simple as that. What else have we got for you? Okay, we got the Ted Cruz. Okay, Joe Lang says, think about what happened yesterday. The FBI field office in the Southern District of New York has withheld evidence on the Epstein case, but it was revealed to Bondi by a whistleblower. That's important. The rumor I'm hearing is the guy behind it all has close ties to Comey. Remember, James Comey's brother, Peter Comey, has connections to the Clinton Foundation. The connection between Peter Comey and the Clinton Foundation is based on the fact that the DLA Piper performed an independent audit of the Clinton Foundation, and we have this information. So where is it all leading to? Let's keep going here. What is this? This is Elon. Okay, Elon chimes in on the entire Epstein situation, quotes a post about giving AG Bondi a chance to do her job, that her intentions are true. He's pretty much saying the deep state are fighting back and we need to be patient. This is what Elon Musk said. People don't understand that you don't get instant power here. Of course, talking about Washington, D.C. And this is the screenshot. He was quote tweeting Wall Street Mav. AG Pam Bondi is fighting a leftist culture within the DOJ and FBI. Give her a chance. She's not hiding anything. She's not covering up Epstein. She wants the info released because she knows what is there. Okay, so we are going to stay on this. This is not over yet. We were expecting something from Pam Bondi this morning. She put out that letter demanding everything from the FBI, but this is a fight against the deep state, and we're going to continue to track it. So the battle between AG Bondi and entrenched FBI officials represents something much larger than just the Epstein case. It's about whether the powerful elite can continue to hide their crimes from the American people. Mike Davis, you saw, he warned that those obstructing justice will face all sorts of charges. But we've heard these promises before. And the real question is, you can answer in the comments, will anyone with real power finally be held accountable? Of course, Elon Musk didn't mince any words when he named names. Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, as known Epstein clients. The connections run deep, and they're fighting desperately to keep their secrets buried. And with Trump back in the White House, the deep state is running scared. So what do you think? Will we finally see the full Epstein files, or will the powerful elite manage to bury the truth yet again? Get your next news shirts and hats in our merch shop and show the world you stand with the real news. Okay, I've seen a lot of Super Chats come through. We're already at $106 in Super Chats and 39 new members. Wow. So to all of our new members, you now have access to an exclusive playlist of some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that we post here on the channel. And I will be departing. Thank you, Juan, for that $20 too. I'll be departing for Washington, D.C., on Sunday, and I'm going to be landing Sunday afternoon. We're going to get the mobile studio set up, so you'll get a sneak peek behind the scenes of all the stuff that we don't just publish, for everyone on YouTube. So make sure you check out those playlists and look for those videos when I drop them. Chantha Hanessa says $2. I don't believe Lindsay. It's a game, folks. Don't tread on me. $9.99. Y'all need to stop believing Russia's the boogeyman. I worked alongside Russian soldiers. They are just like us. The CIA and the propaganda has you sick with the mind flu. Love and peace. He also dropped another $9.99. He says, I'm so thankful to God he has blessed us with President Trump again and to live in a monumental time alongside my N3 family. Wow. Bless you, man. Juan Ruiz dropping a $20 sticker, a pair character dancing, saying, you're amazing. Thank you for that. And Thomas Fuchs has just gifted a membership. The recipient, Sharon Dolbert. Welcome, Sharon. Thank you, Thomas. And you guys in the chat room, if you want to instruct people how to turn on their ability to receive gifts, I don't know that function. I'm just the guy in front of the camera. You guys are the ones causing all the mischief today. All right, let's continue. I think we're going into the Doge now. Oh, yes, the Doge. Bring me the Doge. Give me more Doge. I want more Doge all day long. Okay, let's get into it. My friends, the swamp is being drained in real time, and Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, the DOGE, is leading the charge. In a series of stunning revelations, Musk has exposed how government-funded NGOs have become a backdoor method for executing operations that would be illegal if done directly by the government. Of course, outsourcing their crimes against the Constitution. He called out George Soros as a system hacker who figured out how to hack the system. And now DOGE is demanding answers about where the hundreds of billions of dollars sent to Ukraine actually went. Most shocking of all, the revelation that USAID paid $4 million to who? To Time magazine to name Zelenskyy Person of the Year. Yes, your tax dollars being used to manufacture consent for endless war. When we talk about exposing corruption in government, we're fighting an enemy that's deeply entrenched. Just like chronic inflammation is entrenched in your body, it's no wonder your joints ache when you've been battling this silent enemy for years. Regular turmeric might offer minimal relief, but Dr. Josh discovered a special extract that's 200 times more powerful than standard varieties. This revolutionary formula attacks pain at its source, effectively turning it off like a light switch. After helping hundreds of thousands of Americans break free from constant pain, Dr. Josh's turmeric hack could be your solution too. Visit goldenrevive.com/NNN and check out the free video. And you can thank me later. It's linked down below. Okay, so what have we got? Let's get into it with the Doge. I love the Doge. I love what Elon's doing. He posted this picture about 24 hours ago. This is the Senate Doge Caucus. You can see all the folks who are there on the Senate side. Interesting. So the Doge Caucus is now established in the Senate. 22 hours ago, we had this posted by Jesse Waters. USAID has become the first official victim of Doge, and not a penny too soon. Check this out.
It's official. Foreign aid has been doged after John Roberts of the Supreme Court ruled that Trump has the right to freeze the money. USAID staff cleared out their desks today, and Musk says we've just saved $60 billion. DOGE found a $75 million contract for inclusive justice in Colombia. $40 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment. Another $40 million for female empowerment in Colombia. Pretty sure this money's for cocaine. But don't worry, we're also going to give the Caribbean $3 million for being gay and lesbian. You're gay, and we want you to stay that way. And we still had money left over for terrorists.
Mr. Roman, are you aware that we are sending $40 million a week to the Taliban?
Yes, sir.
Can you name other instances of foreign aid going to terrorist organizations?
We have assisted al-Shabaab in Somalia. There's been instances of the Hamzi network in Sudan, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, Kataib al-Hezbollah, Hayat Tahrir al-Shams in Syria. Dozens of terror organizations have received indirect assistance from U.S. foreign aid.
Wow. That's where your tax dollars are going. Here's Elon Musk talking with Joe Rogan, talking about the NGOs are the way to do things that would normally be illegal.
That would be illegal if they were the government.
Oh.
Yes. It basically, the government-funded NGOs are a way to do things that would be illegal if they were the government, but are somehow made legal if it's sent to a so-called nonprofit. But these nonprofits are then used to, people cash out these nonprofits. They become very wealthy through nonprofits. They pay themselves enormous sums through these nonprofits.
It's so insane that that's been going on for so long.
It's a gigantic scam, like one of the biggest, maybe the biggest scam ever.
And how many NGOs?
I think there's a total number of NGOs, probably millions, but in terms of large NGOs, tens of thousands. I mean, it's actually kind of a hack to the system where someone can get an NGO stood up for a fairly small amount of money. Like George Soros was really good at this. Like George Soros is like a system hacker. Like he figured out how to hack the system. He's a genius at arbitrage. I mean, these days he's pretty old, but a genius at arbitrage. So he figured out that you could leverage a small amount of money to create a nonprofit, then lobby the politicians to send a ton of money to that nonprofit, so you can take what might be, a $10 million donation to a nonprofit to create a nonprofit and leverage that into $1 billion NGO. And a nonprofit is a weird word. It's just a non-governmental organization, and then the government continues to fund that every year, and it'll have a nice sounding name, like the Institute for Peace or something like that. But really, it's a graft machine.
And what are the requirements with that money? What do they have to do?
Just really no requirements at all.
So they just get grants and the government just assumes that they're doing good work.
I think a lot of people in the government know that they're not doing good work. But it's a giant graft machine. I mean,
but surely
people online are like unpacking this,
right?
Yeah, a giant graft machine. DOGE breaking news. Elon Musk says it's time to find out what really happened to the hundreds of millions of dollars sent to Ukraine. I love this picture. Definitely a grok image there. DOGE to audit Ukraine. Time to find out what really happened to the hundreds of billions of dollars that were sent. Another amazing image from the Oval Office earlier today. Donald Trump giving Zelenskyy the hard truth. Unreal. Here we have more. Check this out. Why would Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and DOGE want to know if federal workers are working? Shocking. Internal sensitive data from inside the Department of Veterans Affairs building portfolio. Check this out. Okay. We have, looks like this is Julie Bobalese blowing the whistle. VA Central Office, 810 Vermont Avenue, is a 618,000 square foot building, has 2,483 seats, meaning that's how many staff they can fit. Monthly rent, $27.2 million. Their average logins, 387 people. That's people logging in every month to work. The building's sitting at 16% occupancy, so we're paying $27.2 million a month for a building with 16% occupancy rate. Okay, and the list goes on and on and on. All of these addresses. This is from the Department of Veterans Affairs building portfolio. Let's listen to what she has to say.
As a general, why would President Trump want to know if you're working? I want to share some statistics and from a friend of mine who works at the Department of Veterans Affairs, and I want to be very sensitive because he shared some information that it was internal use only. And this is from the Department of Veterans Affairs building portfolio. All right, so 810 Vermont Avenue is a GSA-owned building, and a GSA-owned building means that it's a General Services Administration, and the Department of Veterans Affairs rent that each month. So 810 Vermont Avenue is a 618,000 square foot building. It has 2,000 483 seats, meaning that's how many staff they can fit. And the monthly rent is $27.2 million, and that's a month. Their average logins from those staff, and they're pretty packed, my friend says, is 387 people average logging in every month. And that building is sitting at a 16% occupancy rate. So we're paying $27.2 million a month for that building with 16% occupancy rate. Now there's 7 buildings that I'm going to share with you. 811 Vermont Avenue, another GSA-owned building, 266,000 square feet, 1,294 seats, $13 million a month rent, 124 average logins, a 10% occupancy rate. 18,000 G Street, it's a leased building, 207,000 square feet, 1,243 seats, $11.3 million a month rent, and the average logins of those staff is 146 per month, and an 11% occupancy rate. 1100 First Street, another leased building, 48,000 square feet, 190 seats, $2.4 million a month rent, 55 average logins, and that building has a 20% occupancy rate. 1575 I Street is a leased building. Now this building is in the process of lease termination, so that's nice. So the 37,000 square feet, 156 seats, $1.7 million a month rent, but that building is being terminated. 425 I Street is a leased building, 175,000 square feet, 582 seats, $12.7 million a month rent, 60 average logins, and 10% occupancy rate. 801 I Street is a leased building, 18,000 square feet, 86 seats, $1.1 million a month rent, and 8 average logins, and it's sitting at a 9% occupancy rate. So, yeah, I think that tells a story. I mean, tell me it doesn't tell a story. My friend says that they're pretty heavily staffed, and I know every time there's a job opening, he shares it, and it gets staffed pretty quickly. The government loves to staff at the max capacity if they can, and yeah. So, share your thoughts if you want.
Yeah, you just heard it right there. Just more waste, empty buildings, and more. Here's a fake news alert. What's this? Mila Joy. The AP published an international story saying air traffic controllers were fired by Trump and DOGE. Trump fired 0 air traffic controllers. DOGE fired 0 air traffic controllers. Oh, did Trump fire any air traffic controllers? The answer is no, he didn't. The firings were specifically targeted at probationary employees within the Federal Aviation Administration who were involved in maintaining air traffic control infrastructure, not the controllers themselves. Yeah. So just be aware, and that's probably one reason why the AP has been kicked out of the Oval Office. Oh, did you hear about this? Libs of TikTok posted this 5 hours ago. New York City's Summer Youth Employment Program reported to be receiving $38.4 million in federal funding during 2024. Asked kids to submit their preferred pronouns, gender identity, and preferences when applying online. More wasteful spending to groom your kids. And here is a new follow I just found. Jordan, President Trump supporter and a vegan patriot. She had this to say. She just posted this to X. Pretty cool. Check this out.
Nazis. Hi, awesome and amazing patriots. Fired federal employees have been complaining about President Trump, Elon Musk, and DOGE. Of course, they're screaming, calling President Trump and Elon Musk Nazis. They either call us racist, call them racist, or call us Nazis. As a Jewish American patriot, I am sick and tired of these people calling President Trump and his administration Nazis. All Elon Musk asked for were simple emails and 5 points stating what they did each week. No big deal, right? I could do that for school or for my job. But when you're lazy and don't do your job like these people, then that's a problem. If you have nothing to hide, then you have nothing to fear. I think DOGE is great. I love and appreciate you all.
DOGE is great indeed. What else have we got lined up for you here? Here's an Elon Musk protest in Oregon. Look at that. Upside down flags, ringing bells.
Elon Musk, not elected, much infected, now rejected.
Dave, this is David Media PDX. Yeah. Here we have more federal worker. Check this out. Benny Johnson posted this. Federal worker says she got behind on all her work because she was threatened and harassed by a simple email asking for 5 tasks that she did that week.
Which the email that came out wanting us to justify our jobs with 5 things we did last week was on Saturday night. And I was literally working on Saturday night to make up for all the distractions I had had the previous week, which came from the executive branch. And so I'm working, trying to catch up on things, and then I get that email on top of it. It's very hard to keep your train of thought when you're getting threatened and harassed like that.
Yeah, you can't name 5 things in a quick email. I did this, I did this, I did it. Well, come on, really? Yeah, that just shows you how inept these people are. Here we have this. Federal government funding opposition to Trump. Federal government is funding 50% of the biggest Medicaid contracts in history in New York. $1 billion of that is going to a union whose stated goal is to fight President Trump. This is posted, Libs of TikTok. And let's see. Yeah, check this out.
Or PPL. We may be witnessing one of the biggest Medicaid fraud schemes in U.S. history. New York Governor Kathy Hochul recently awarded a $45 billion medical care contract, the largest in U.S. history, to an out-of-state company known as Public Partnerships LLC, or PPL for short. 50% of this contract is funded by the federal government. This contract will destroy nearly 700 businesses and jeopardize the home care Medicaid program provided to hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers through CDPAP. So who is benefiting from this? Well, introducing the 1199 SEIU, the largest healthcare union in the United States. This union, which was mentioned in a recently filed lawsuit against the New York Department of Health, announced that PPL would be acquiring the contract for this major medical reform before public bidding even started, providing...
Before public bidding even began. And that's the game that they continue to play. Let's keep going. Oh, this is funny. Okay, I'm quite sure this is parody. But it's just so funny. I'm going to play this for you guys.
I'm not comfortable with you today. Bradley, a.k.a. Face Department of Government Efficiency. I'm not comfortable with you wasting tremendous amounts of taxpayer resources, miss. I'm going to have to put a thumb drive into your computer to see what you've been up to. Oh, I don't need consent to put a thumb in. Not in Trump's America.
Okay.
We'll set up a command center right here. In today. Bradley.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's hilarious. And the Department of Defense, they're not afraid to weigh in on the 5 things they did this week. They got a new, I guess this is like a weekly thing they're putting out at the DOD. Check this out. I mean, this is all Hegseth, I'm sure, is behind this.
For our Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell here. Welcome to our new weekly situation report, or as we say in the military, sit rep. The purpose of this is to be the most transparent DOD in American history for our warfighters and the American people. It was an action-packed America First week at the Department of Defense. The president nominated Lieutenant General Dan Raisin Kane as the next chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The Senate confirmed Army veteran and accomplished attorney Dan Driscoll as the Secretary of the Army. Super psyched about that, and we are very much looking forward to having them both on the team here at the Pentagon. Secretary Hegseth visited Naval Station Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, where he served as a second lieutenant in 2004. He visited our warfighters and inspected the detention facilities where criminal illegal aliens are being held as they await swift deportation. The UK pledged to increase their defense spending, which was a direct response to Secretary Hegseth's push for European NATO leadership just 2 weeks ago. This, despite a legacy media narrative that the Secretary's NATO trip remarks needed to be walked back or would somehow backfire. As usual, the legacy media was wrong. Our public affairs shop directed all diversity, equity, and inclusion content to be removed from websites and social media. DOD-wide, at the Pentagon, we reject the divisive and discriminatory notion that diversity is our strength. It's not. Our shared unity and purpose are our strengths. Under President Trump and Secretary Hegseth's leadership, DEI is dead at the DOD. And finally, at President Trump's first cabinet meeting, Secretary Hegseth promised the American people the overdue accountability that they deserve for the Biden administration's disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. Folks, that is all we have for you today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. God bless America, and God bless our troops. See you next time.
That's directly from your new Department of Defense. I think they can do away with the background track, but you get the point, man. This is a whole new America. And check this out. Look at this. Holy cow. Doge News, USAID paid Time Magazine $4 million to name Zelenskyy Person of the Year. Your tax dollars being paid to push the narrative.
In 2020,
USAID paid
since
Time
Trump
Magazine.
administration started its work, Department of Government Efficiency has discovered huge amounts of money wasted by the government. In 2022, USAID paid Time Magazine for $1 million for them to award Ukrainian President Zelenskyy the title of the Person of the Year. In 2024, Politico newspaper received over $8 million from USAID. According to WikiLeaks, USAID was funding over 6,200 journalists across 707 media outlets and 279 media NGOs. Trump claimed that billions of dollars were spent by the USAID and other government agencies on supporting Democrats and their agenda. Trump administration believes that such waste of money is detrimental to the U.S. and that USAID needs to be reformed or shut down entirely.
You see that last post there by Elon Musk? USAID is a criminal organization. Time for it to die. And dying it is. We're not done yet, folks. Don't go anywhere. We've got some more for you in the Doge dig up. Let's see what Charlie Kirk has to say.
Being a liberal is just so insanely uncool right now. This is the Democrats' new theme song.
We'll fight against DOGE. We'll fight Elon Musk. No Whelan's kept within our walls. We'll fight from dawn to dusk. Oh.
It's remarkable compared to 20.
Which side are you on? 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 Man, they just make themselves look like fools, don't they? Okay, Charlie, what else you got to say here?
Dusk. Oh.
It's remarkable compared to 2008, where all the cool kids were Democrats and Obama people and then eventually Bernie people. It's just, you just lived on the left. You just think of what it means to be a Democrat now. You're just a shrill hall monitor screaming at other people about democracy. But whose side are you on? I tell you, I'm on the side of not that.
I'm on the side of not that. Yeah, I'm not going to go out there and sing these songs and make myself look like a fool. I'll just do it on YouTube for you guys privately. Okay, here we have Senator Loomis. Doge is finding things.
Doge, pleasure to be with you, Maria.
And of course, you were in that meeting yesterday. What can you tell us?
Doge is finding things that any business should have under control, but the federal government does not. Let me give you a couple examples.
Okay.
They found an agency that had twice as many credit cards outstanding as there were employees at the agency. They have found fields on computers that say, where is this payment being made to, and to whom is it being made for what? And those fields are empty. They've never been filled out. Money's outgoing. We don't know where it's going. And it is not, it's the worst of business practices, and it's happening with billions of taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, I was reading that there were like more than 4 million credit cards or something, and there were 2.5 or 3 million people working in government. How's that possible? People had dual credit cards, and then they were using those credit cards for what? Transportation and trips and things like that?
That's just it, Maria. We don't know. When I was state treasurer in Wyoming, the auditors would come into my office at the end of every fiscal year, and they were there for 3 months because I managed all the money in the state of Wyoming. We don't do that in the federal government, and there's absolutely no excuse for the irresponsible handling of U.S. taxpayer dollars. That's what Elon Musk is looking at.
Yeah.
He is finding waste, fraud, and abuse, and it's extensive.
Unbelievable.
It's extensive, without question. You know, those are the buzzwords. Waste, fraud, and abuse. Waste, fraud, and abuse. We're going to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. And then when they finally go to cut the waste, fraud, and abuse, you got people like this. Arrest them. You know, you got them singing songs like, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Folks, I love Doge. I think I'm going to get a tattoo that says, I'm with the Doge. What do you think? Should I do it? Comment below. Now, the implications of what Doge is uncovering cannot be overstated. When Senator Loomis said Doge is finding things that any business should have under control, but the federal government does not, she hit the nail right on the head. It's not just about government inefficiency. It's about deliberate corruption designed to funnel taxpayer money into the pockets of the global elite. And Musk is now questioning everything from federal workers' productivity to how our money is spent overseas. When he tweets about auditing Ukraine, you can practically hear the panic in the corridors of Washington, D.C. The shadowy system of NGOs, foreign aid, and government contracts that has entrenched the elite for decades is finally being exposed. Oh, thank you. So here's a question. Do you think that Musk and Doge will be allowed to continue this work, or will the deep state find a way to shut them down? Drop a comment. Make sure you grab some MAG Avengers gear featuring Ron Paul and Elon Musk. It's an exclusive in our merch shop. And show your support. It's linked down below. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Juan is asking about the Trump dance. Again, you guys, out of control. Out of control. John Pryor, if Father God saved President Trump, then he isn't done. Stand firm. Gitmo will be full. And then we got Joe.K dropping some Australian cash, $7.99. A pair character lifting some weights saying, keep it up. Don't tread on me, dropping $9.99. 5 minutes ago, he said, Gary, I've been watching you for a while. When you had the studio, when you went, and when YouTube tried to shut you down, but you didn't quit. From a former veteran, I salute you. God bless and thank you. God bless you too, sir. Thank you for your service to this country. Wow. Yeah, we never quit. We kept going. And it was brutal, but you guys helped us through. You helped us through. Couldn't have done it without our supporters on this channel. And let's keep going. We got some more news to get to. And let's find out what's going on, shall we? The days of catch and release and open borders are over, patriots. President Trump has unleashed ICE with full force, conducting massive raids across the country. They're sending shockwaves through the illegal immigration networks. From Mississippi to New Jersey to California, ICE agents are rounding up illegal aliens and shutting down businesses that employ them. But that is only the beginning. We've been talking to you about this. Our sources in Washington, D.C. have shared us critical information that we have passed along to you and is now bearing fruit because the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has just delivered a message that has the cartels trembling, declaring that nothing is off the table when it comes to securing our border, including potential military strikes in Mexico. Meanwhile, President Trump has secured the extradition of 29 Mexican cartel bosses who are now facing life in American prisons. While our brave ICE agents are fighting to secure our border, many Americans are fighting a different kind of battle, one against chronic pain that feels like an invasion of their daily lives. If you're suffering from debilitating aches, you need to know about Canalidine. Yes, it's the only natural solution that optimizes your body's endorphins for full body pain relief without dangerous medications. This revolutionary compound has already helped over 1 million Americans and countless professional athletes conquer pain without side effects or addiction. It's fully legal, it's drug-free, and backed by 14 years of clinical research. Visit tricano.com/NNN. It's linked down below to experience relief for less than $1 a day. And we thank our sponsors for keeping this show going, and you as well for watching and sharing. This is the story from Breitbart News. DOD Chief Pete Hegseth does not rule out strikes on fentanyl labs. Breitbart News. Let's dig a little bit deeper here. Here it is. What? All these ads popping up. Give me a break. Defense Secretary Hegseth does not rule out strikes in fentanyl labs in Mexico. It says here, he said in a recent interview with Fox News' Laura Ingraham, anything's on the table. The commander-in-chief ultimately, with my consultation and with the chairman and others, will make those determinations, but nothing's off the table. Our sovereignty will be defended. He said his message to the cartels is we're taking nothing off the table. We will do whatever it takes to secure the American homeland, to maintain our sovereignty, protect the American people. He made the remarks during a visit this week to Guantanamo Bay, where President Trump has authorized the military to temporarily detain illegal aliens crossing the U.S. southern border before sending them back. The base has been used for decades as a holding place for migrants and asylum seekers. And what else have we got here? There's currently 30,000 beds available at the base, but there are currently only approximately 25 being held there. So nothing is off the table, including attacks, direct attacks on the labs in Mexico. Okay, here it is. This is what he said to Laura Ingraham.
Commander-in-Chief, what's your message to the cartels? They're watching all this. What's your message to them?
Oh, my message has been from the beginning, we're taking nothing off the table. Nothing. We will do whatever it takes to secure the American homeland, to maintain our sovereignty, and protect the American people.
Does that mean you're ruling out potential strikes inside of Mexico on fentanyl labs that we know they exist, and we know where they exist?
No, I don't think I ruled anything out. Anything's on the table. The commander-in-chief, ultimately, with my consultation with the chairman and others, will make those determinations, but nothing's off the table. Our sovereignty will be defended.
Military strikes inside Mexico, not off the table. ICE raid in Mississippi leads to 16 illegal alien arrests. This from Plethora LLCB 24 hours ago. While raiding a concrete contracting business in Pass Christian, Mississippi, ICE agents saw a large group trying to flee out the back. 16 illegal aliens arrested from Honduras, Mexico, and Guatemala. Worksite enforcement full effect. No more hiding, no more loopholes. The law is being enforced. Here is a photograph from that arrest. Yep, bye-bye. They will keep the beds warm in Guantanamo Bay. Oh, we got some great news, too, from our friend Ben Berquam from Real America's Voice, his show Law and Border. Listen to the great news from Ben.
So I've got an update for you. I was actually scheduled to go out and link up with Border Patrol again and embed with these guys down on the border. And I got a call saying there's nothing going on. The border is secure right now. And they said, let's postpone it and we'll figure out another time. I'm going to be going out with these Borstar guys, doing some night ops and having a good old time finding the bad guys. Now, the cartel's not stopping, but what this shows us very clearly, in under a month, President Trump secured the border. Joe Biden and the Democrats said it couldn't be done. They said it was outside of their control. And what we know is they controlled it. It was all part of Secretary Mayorkas's controlled flow, Secretary Blinken's welcome centers, the NGOs that were profiting off all this, Catholic Charities, Lutheran Social Services, Jewish Family Services, the communist churches like Lincoln United Methodist Church in Chicago, all of these organizations, Al Otro Lado, Pueblo Sin Fronteras, Centro Sin Fronteras, all of these organizations and thousands more across America and around the world aiding and abetting the invasion of America. And within 1 month, President Trump and his team, Tom Homan, Kristi Noem, have secured the border. That's what America First looks like.
Thank you for everything you do, Ben Bergquam. Make sure you follow him on X. He is always at the forefront. And we also have this. ICE is performing raids in California, and somehow a guy with a megaphone shows up. Listen to what happened.
Answer their question.
If they don't have a warrant, you do not need to talk to them.
You don't have to answer their questions.
You do not have to answer any questions. Let them slide the warrant under the door or put it up to the window.
Where you can see it clearly.
It has to be signed by a judge. They can have their own warrants that are not signed by a judge.
They're not valid.
They are not valid.
Yeah, so we have American citizens actively obstructing ICE. And we got this lawyer too, but there's also this. This is from AOC. This was just 9 hours ago. AOC sending a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi demanding clarity on whether the DOJ is investigating her for advising constituents on how to avoid ICE raids and deportation. You know what this tells me? The AOC is freaking out. Are they investigating her? Yeah, she wants to know if she's going to get swatted in the middle of the night. Here's the letter. I write to request clarity on whether the DOJ has yielded to political pressure and attempts to weaponize the agency against elected officials. Oh, really? Yeah, we know all about how agencies can be weaponized against political officials, don't we, AOC? You guys wrote the book on it. And here's a lawyer, U.S. immigration attorney, says she has credible sources that have confirmed ICE office quotas and details about raid targets. Well, I'm glad they've got quotas. But here she is sharing the info to help illegal migrants avoid mass deportations and making sure they're prepared to remain silent, similar to how the fool with the bullhorn was.
That are in the United States. Breaking immigration news, my credible sources have confirmed that each of the 25 field offices of Immigration and Customs Enforcement must make 75 arrests daily. And if they don't, those officers risk being terminated from their job. So they are very much wanting to keep their job, and they are going after the 3 categories of people that they're looking for first. People that have serious criminal records that are in the United States, people that have final removal orders that have not left the United States, and people that have removal orders have left and re-entered the United States without permission. Remember this, because they are going to be so geared to make arrests, that you have to understand that you have rights to remain silent. You should have downloaded a Know Your Rights card at this point, and if you are encountered by immigration, you have a right to remain silent. Yes, you can give your name, but after that, it's silencio. Like and follow. I'm Gloria Cardenas, the immigration queen.
Okay, we'll get that right over to Tom Homan for aiding and abetting criminal activity in the United States. And speaking of which, we have this TikTok user who created ICE maps, a site giving exact locations of ICE so that illegals can avoid mass deportations, is now leaking inside upcoming ICE raid locations. And the question is, how is this person not in prison?
From within the hospital. This is for people who live in Baltimore. If you live in Baltimore, please pay attention. I got a tip from one of my followers who DM'd me, letting me know that they got a tip from somebody that they trust, that supposedly Johns Hopkins Hospital should be expecting ICE to show up there this week to conduct arrests in relation to deportations. We don't know exactly what days it's happening. And again, this person that reached out to me and gave me this tip says that this information is from a trusted source from within the hospital itself. So this message is really important. I'm going to repeat all of this in Spanish for those that listen in Spanish. Este video es para mis seguidores de Baltimore.
Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, so now you know we have another person who's aiding and abetting the criminal activity. And speaking of criminal activity, here it is. This was 22 hours ago. Tom Homan, Border News, breaking in New York. As I stated from an earlier post, Mexican cartel leaders officially landed in New York. All 29 on board are looking at life in prison. Here's the moment. Perp walk happening in real time in New York. You know, what kind of frustrates me about this is that, yes, we extradited them. Yes, they're criminals. But now they're going to live in prison, life in prison, and the taxpayers are going to have to pay for it. Isn't there a better way to deal with this? I don't know. Let's get to the news cut on this. Rapid response, 47. Trump secured the extradition of 29 Mexican drug cartel bosses to face charges for their crimes. Let's listen to the Fox hit.
Will appear today 2 of the 29 cartel members who were just extradited to the U.S. from Mexico, including one accused of killing a DEA agent back in 1985, will appear in a New York court today.
Chanley Painter is here with all the details for us. Chanley?
Hey, good morning. So at least 2 of those defendants will be arraigned today in Brooklyn federal court, according to Reuters, including a drug lord who is alleged to have been among those responsible for the murder of a U.S. DEA agent, Enrique Kiki Camara, in 1985. This comes as Mexico on Thursday handed over 29 high-profile drug cartel members to the United States as part of an unprecedented extradition as the Trump administration ramps up pressure on drug trafficking organizations, illegal immigration, and fentanyl production. According to prosecutors, the prisoners face charges related to drug trafficking and, in some cases, homicide, among other crimes. And among them are members of 5 of the 6 Mexican organized crime groups designated earlier this month as foreign terrorist organizations by the Trump administration, guys.
And it's long overdue. So we're going to wait and see what happens. Are we going to have airstrikes in Mexico? It's not off the table. In fact, as we reported maybe a week or so ago, Michael Alfaro brought this information to us. That these are real conversations being had, and here we have Hegseth only confirming what our reporting presented to you a couple weeks ago. So, lots of good news happening, especially from what Ben's saying here, that the border is like crickets, right? So this multi-front offensive against illegal immigration and the cartels represents the Trump administration's no-nonsense approach to one of America's most pressing crises. The results are already showing. Border Patrol agents in New Mexico report so few illegal crossings that scheduled operations were postponed. And that's what happens when a country enforces its law and protects its sovereignty. The extradition of cartel leaders, including those responsible for killing DEA agents, sends a clear message. The United States will no longer tolerate the poison and crime flowing across our southern border. From ICE raids to potential military action in Mexico, America is finally taking security seriously. So here's a question for you. Do you think these aggressive tactics will finally bring the border crisis under control, or will the globalists and their activist allies find ways to obstruct these efforts? Maybe I'll answer that question. With USAID getting shut down and all the funding not going to all these NGOs anymore? I think it's all going to come to a grinding halt. I want to hear your thoughts, though. And show your support with our next news gear in the merch shop. Grab a hat or a shirt and show the world that you stand with the Next News Network. Okay, let's continue. What are you guys saying here? Okay, no more super chats. Let's go to the main chat. What's up, guys? Cyber fart smell coming your way. Oh, that's delicious, Miss Tree. A cyber fart, really? Unreal. Never heard that one before. Let's support everyone to Ukraine. That's hilarious. AOC is central casting. Hi, Heather. Relax, don't stress. We have a little time. There's teenagers picked up by the human traffickers. Yeah, lots of patterns. There shouldn't be any illegal crossings. Acid cactus is being deployed. Oh my. I don't know what you guys do when I'm doing these segments, but you guys are just cactus wielding, and I don't know, you guys have your own language and I don't really understand it sometimes. Oh man. Okay. Let's see what else. Taking my First Amendment on a walk, Gary docking. Overeducated SP. Are the Mexican cartel in Brazil? I'm sure they probably are. Craig dropping $5. See, Craig, I see your super chats. See? I see it. There it is. $5 right there. You said thank you for all you do. Love your thumbnail, by the way. That's awesome. Okay, let's see what else you guys are talking about. From a beautiful friend, Gary Franchi, Heigale 8. We love you, Gary, says Heather. And who cares? Bedtime consecutive. Obama gave Zelenskyy sheets. Yeah. I hope they had a nice thread count, right? You know, Obama. Okay. We got a big weekend ahead of us. We're not going to be falling asleep very soon. What is this? Oh, here's a meme. Oh, I love the memes. Here's a big meme for you. This is what it looked like at the White House today. Oh, that's hilarious. Yep, that's pretty much how it worked out. Zelenskyy getting shown the door. What is this? George Papadopoulos 3 hours ago, coming up on Global View Show. Tonight we discuss the threat of radical and what countries support it. Zelenskyy calling Trump in 2 days. Oh, you know this meme. You know this meme very well. Oh, man. Okay, Robbie Starbuck. Some politicians in Europe have forgotten this, and they need to be reminded. If we told every American that they could live in the EU for life with fully funded move, few would go. If we told Europeans the same thing, they'd flood our country. The United States is superior. What else is going on? Let's check. Vance and Trump confront Zelenskyy. You're gambling with World War III. Yeah, that's what happened today, man. It was a wild, wild news day. So if you want the latest as we track things over the weekend, make sure you go to our X account. We will be getting updates from the White House on the regular. I'll be departing for Washington, D.C. on Sunday. I intend to be there for the whole week. And not just the whole week, but the State of the Union address. Not the official State of the Union address, but that's happening on Tuesday. The mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, is supposed to be testifying on Wednesday. I don't have a congressional press pass yet, but I'm going to work on that. Maybe I could head over there and figure out who to talk to when I get in town. Also, we've got the crypto summit's going to be at the White House too, so maybe I will be able to get some answers on that. Here's Todd. When he saw Air Force One, he was just so overjoyed today. So absolutely overjoyed. I've only seen Air Force One many years ago. A friend of ours took us to, was it Andrews Air Force Base, and we got to see it through the fence. I've never been that close, but he got to see it up close, and he was super excited today. Yep. Great things happening at the Next News Network. You guys are here for every moment. You know, they counted us out. They tried to say that we weren't going to make it. They tried to bankrupt us, leave us for dead. But here we are, folks. We powered through it all. with God's help and your help. And now we are officially credentialed White House Press. Amazing. White House Press Pool. Todd Siegel, Next News Network. That was down in West Palm Beach earlier today. So you guys are here. We're here. We're not going anywhere. And we're going to keep bringing you the real news every single night. Make sure you're following us on X, though. You need to follow us because we post to X before we do anything else. So you guys get the real news up close and personal. So you can also check up on all the, because since we got these press releases from the White House, like they come in at such a rapid pace. Like this one here, direct from the White House. Trump administration extradites 29 Mexican cartel members. Sandy, what's up? $20. Thank you, Sandy, for that. These press releases come so fast that we got to process them, crank them out, and get them on our X account, and then we bring them out to you guys. So make sure you follow us there. And our X account's actually doing quite well. Looks like we've got 67,900 followers, which is amazing. It's growing quite quickly. So I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's been quite a show because we've walked through 4 explosive stories that represent nothing less than a seismic shift in American politics and world affairs. President Trump's historic confrontation with Zelenskyy in the Oval Office has rewritten the rules of international diplomacy. When Trump told him your country's in big trouble, you're not winning, he was doing what no other president has had the courage to do, putting America first and demanding accountability for our tax dollars. The Ukrainian leader came looking for more blank checks and left with nothing but a clear message: the gravy train is over. Trump showed the world what real leadership looks like, and the global elite are trembling. Meanwhile, the deep state's desperate attempts to hide the truth about Jeffrey Epstein's network continue to unravel. AG Pam Bondi has exposed a massive cover-up with FBI officials with ties to James Comey, deliberately obstructing justice by withholding thousands of pages of documents. Ted Cruz called it unprecedented, and Mike Davis warned that those responsible will face serious charges. So the question remains, will the powerful elites who were part of Epstein's circle finally be exposed, or will they manage to bury the truth once again? Then we have Elon Musk and DOGE shining a bright light on government corruption like never before. From exposing how USAID paid $4 million to Time magazine to name Zelenskyy Person of the Year, to questioning where hundreds of billions sent to Ukraine actually went, Musk is taking on the entire corrupt establishment. His description of government-funded NGOs as a, quote, way to do things that would be illegal if they were the government pulls back the curtain on decades of manipulation. And finally, the border crisis is getting the attention it deserves, with ICE conducting raids nationwide and Defense Secretary Hegseth refusing to rule out military strikes in Mexico. With 29 cartel leaders extradited to face American justice, the days of open borders and cartel dominance are numbered. Now, these stories aren't just news. They're history in the making, and we could not bring them to you without your support. If you believe in our mission to expose the truth, please consider donating to keep this show going. We could certainly use it because these trips to Washington, D.C. are going to get pricey. The links are in the description. Give, Send, Go, or PayPal. Take your pick. And I want to thank everyone who sent in super chats and Rumble rants this evening. We're at $173. Holy cow. $173 and 40 new members. Listen, guys, your engagement makes this show what it is. And don't forget to visit our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com for exclusive Next News swag that shows the world you stand for truth. And I know you guys want it. You want the Trump dance. Trump dance. Trump dance. Well, I tried. So remember, friends, tell a friend about the Raw feed. The more patriots who join us, the stronger our movement becomes. We'll be back live from Washington, D.C. on Monday with more explosive revelations. I will be at the White House all week. So until then, keep fighting the good fight. Good night, America. Have a wonderful and blessed weekend.